A warm welcome to passengers joining us here. Please remain seated whilst the bus is moving. Keep a lookout for any low branches, especially after rainfall when they may be weighed down just a tad. We want you to stay safe. The tour you're on will take approximately 1.5 hours if you stay on the bus. You can, though, if you prefer, break your tour at any of our stops and then rejoin a later bus. Please, however, remember to keep that ticket in a safe place and check with the driver for times of buses later on in the day. On our left are the Royal Botanic Gardens. The Domain and the Royal Botanic Gardens were the first parks in Australia. Here you'll find magnificent displays of native and exotic flora, which provide a sanctuary from the hustle and bustle of the city. Of particular interest are the pyramid-shaped tropical centre glasshouses, the Rose Garden and the Rare and Threatened Species Garden. Here we are then at our stop for the Botanic Gardens. If we look ahead and to our left, we can see once again the State Library of New South Wales. The new Macquarie Street wing of the library has 5 stories below street level. Amongst the historic documents held here is Captain Bligh's logbook. After his famous mutiny on the Bounty, Bligh served as the 4th Governor of New South Wales. We are shortly approaching our stop outside Parliament House in Macquarie Street. The building was originally the northern wing of the old Sydney Rum Hospital, opened in 1816 and so named because the men who were commissioned to build it were allowed to import 45,000 gallons of rum, the standard currency here in Australia at the time, without paying any tax. No flies on them. The New South Wales Parliament itself is the oldest in Australia, having been set up with the Legislative Council in the 1820s and the home of responsible government since 1856. Tours of Parliament House are available Monday to Friday, 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And welcome aboard to those joining us here. Please ensure you remain seated at all times whilst the vehicle is in motion. To our left we have the Sydney Hospital. In front of it you can see a small statue of a boar. The story has it that if you put a coin into the box in front of him and then rub his nose, you will have good luck. As you can see, his nose is very well rubbed. It remains shiny, while the rest of the bronze is more tarnished. Parliament House to the north and Sydney Mint to the south are parts of the original hospital. The building that still serves as a hospital is a little newer, having been completed in 1894. Next door, and originally the southern wing of the old Rum Hospital, is the Sydney Mint, completed sometime around 1816. It became the first mint here in Australia in 1855 and has since been government offices and law courts before eventually becoming a museum in 1982. Coming into view on the right is St James Church, which was designed by Francis Greenway in 1820. It is Sydney's oldest church and was built with convict-made bricks. Also designed by Francis Greenway is the Hyde Park Barracks, which we can see across to our left. Originally they housed nearly 600 convicts. Francis Greenway himself was transported to Australia in 1814 for forgery. He was appointed by Governor Macquarie as civil architect in 1816 and designed more than 40 buildings. Until recently, Australia's $10 notes carried his portrait, making it probably the only currency in the world to pay tribute to a convicted forger. If you'd like to visit this historic area of Sydney, then this is our stop.